guys. Okay, recorded now. So I have made a a YouTube video before about how to expand your network. There you go. I was muted again. Okay. Not your share. Okay. So I have made a YouTube video before about how to
Girlfriend, what's going on with your phone? Can you hear me?
What keeps muting me? I don't know.
Oh, it keeps taking your picture away too.
Okay, maybe because I tapped over to.
Yeah.
That's why, because I went over to the crazy thing. Okay, I won't do that. I have a hard time looking at myself. I'll just look at someone else's picture.
You can look at me.
So I'll do this again so it's not crazy. So I've made a YouTube video before about how to expand your network using Facebook groups. And so basically what I like to do is I like to write down, and I tell my coaches to make a list of things about your life. So find different areas of your life, like different hobbies and interests. So like me, I like to craft. My kids have speech delays. My daughter's autistic. I'm an army wife. We live in Kansas. Like all these different things about me. I mean, we have a dog. I'm really like a dog lover, I guess, but I guess you can put that down. Like I love to sew. I love to scrapbook. Different things like that. Make a list of different things in your life that you can, basically that you would be able to try, like someone would have put together a group and join. So you don't want to just join random groups that you have no idea that baby wearing. So like, I like to use like chulas and wear my babies around. So that's another thing. So finding groups and people that you can relate to that you genuinely like and you genuinely are interested in. So, you don't want to just join a group about, I don't know, pick something like crocheting when you have no desire to crochet, no interest. You wouldn't know how to carry a conversation with someone who crochets. So I like to join groups. So like I'm not like huge on Instagram. I'm not going to lie and say that I am. I use it and I do hashtags sometimes, but it's not like, I don't go overboard with it. But like things like baby wearing. So like I personally like the brand Tula for the buckle carriers and the ring slings, for anyone that knows what I'm talking about. So like if I have a picture of me and my baby like on my front or my back, and I'll just do like hashtag Tula, like hashtag baby wearing, things like that. And I'll try to, and I know I said Facebook groups, but I'm also going to go on Instagram real quick. Using like searching hashtags. I don't really use tons of hashtags, but I like to search the hashtags. And so like I'll look up, say, Tula mom or baby wearing, and I'll look through it and I'll look for people who, the pictures of the people that like they pop out at me. And because, that's a potential coach or customer. Like if it's like a super awesome post, like I go to their picture and then I go through all their news feed and stuff, like all their pictures, and see like they've got really amazing pictures. They've got a wide variety of things that they post about. That's a potential, oh, sorry. I got a text from someone, distracted. That's a potential coach possibly. And so you kind of keep an eye out on that. And so what I do if I see someone that I really like, their picture jumps out at me, is that I will first of all follow them and hope they'll follow me back. But I like to, on the picture that I was first interested in, I will like it and then comment, and I leave it as an open-ended question. So like say it's a picture of a mom and she's got a little boy and he's in the carrier. I'll say, oh my gosh, I love that print of your Tula. How old is your son? He looks to be about the same age as my son. And so that leaves it open-ended so that you're hoping to get a reply from them and start a conversation in the future. And so that you have something going, and you're more than likely they'll follow you back. So you can.
Can I have that quick, Angelica?
Yeah.
Something I just learned was that on Instagram now, if you click the 3 dots above that person's picture on their profile, like Angelica said, like if you want to keep an eye out for this person, you can hit turn or push notifications maybe as an option, and it'll alert you every single time that person posts a picture so that you can hop over and interact with them.
I had no idea, so that's good to
I
know.
just learned that too like 2 days ago, so I was like, I gotta throw that in. All right.
Yeah, that's really good. I didn't know that. So that's really helpful. There's mosquitoes here. Ugh. So that's one thing about Instagram that I like to do. I'm gonna be honest that I'm not really good at doing that like every day. Kind of like when I'm, laying in bed and kind of scrolling, will try to use that to my advantage and then search some hashtags. I try to stay away from anything that could be related to a Beachbody coach. So anything that a Beachbody coach might tag, like hashtag fitness and hashtag Shakeology, like things, or like hashtag fit mom, like those people probably most likely already are connected to some brand or connected to another coach somehow. So I try to stay away from those things. And I try to use, like the things in my life, so like hashtag dog lover or whatever, things like that. Like I posted a pair of leggings earlier and did hashtag autism awareness, things like that, that I might get some new followers, and I, in the future, might just get someone who just randomly liked that picture and they keep following me. So I'm not really strong with building a network on Instagram, but that's like one little tip that I do. But on Facebook, I feel like I'm pretty decent at it, is joining. So like what I said is, oh shoot, someone's pulling in here. Hold on. I'm sitting in the driveway and someone just pulled up to me. So what I like to do is join Facebook groups based on the interests that you have in your life. So like I said, the different things that you can kind of break your life down into, the different, like say, categories and things. And you can look up on Facebook, just the little search bar, and just type in, like, I was looking for groups in Fort Bliss, because anyone saw we're moving to Fort Bliss family in this winter. So like I was trying to look up Fort Bliss Army Wives, things like that. And like I've looked up, I'm on groups of autism moms, sensory processing disorder, which is what my kids have, speech delay things, just all different kind of groups. Like look for it in the search bar and find groups that you can join. And I'll say this, and I'm serious, do not post anything about Beachbody in these groups. Like do not make it do not ever post anything about Beachbody in these groups. And so, that's one thing I will say. This is coming from me, and my advice is don't post about Beachbody in those groups. So if you're taking notes, write that down because you don't want to be seen as the girl who's joining the group and jumping in, and say it could be a tight-knit group that is letting in basically a stranger, and you could be jumping in and being that salesy, spammy person that you might not think that you're being, but that's how they're going to see it. So if you can go into a group, and it could be a group with thousands of people or a group with like 100 people, but no matter what, you want to join in. And it's the kind of, I'm really bad about like making a list, but I tend to go through my groups and kind of go in them, and I'll go through my group list and I'll pop in each one and kind of try to make a post or comment on some things and like some things. And because if people are noticing your name kind of over and over again, they'll realize that you're making a name for yourself in that group. And so you won't seem like super just like random, like a random person in the group. So if you're commenting and liking on things, and then when you make a post and you send a friend request to someone who comments, it's not going to be super random and weird. It's going to be because you made a post, they commented, and it's something that you guys both have in common. And so if you're sending them a friend request to be able to chat about the things you have in common, it's not really weird because you're just kind of like, you're building a friendship about something you already have in common. And I don't always necessarily start friend or like if I add someone, like, so when I make a post, so like in a crafting group, say, or actually, I guess I'll say, like, I have a mom's group I'm in. And so when I first joined it, anytime I would make a post, as a pregnancy group, if I would make a post and people would comment on it, then it's like me, usually I'm asking questions. So like, if I, not like oh, look how cute your baby is. Like, it's me asking, like, oh, like, here's a picture of my kids on their first day of school. Who else has older kids who is starting school this week. And so people who are commenting, boom, they're newly had a baby, and they also have older kids. So we relate more than one way. And so if I send a friend request, it's not weird. And eventually the whole point is to get them from this random group onto my Facebook. And so when you realize like you got all these new friend requests that you're sending out and people are adding them, they're joining your Facebook, that's why you have to constantly put out your why. Emily does a really good job with that. And so putting out your why probably at least like once a week or every other week. And it doesn't have to be the same story every time, but you can kind of change it every time and like make it different, like physically, financially, emotionally, different things, different aspects you can talk about. And, you can talk about the same physical story, but kind of different pictures and how you feel, like you can always change it a little bit. And because you don't want this person to be on your Facebook, and you could be like thinking that you're putting it out there, what your story is, and you really aren't. And so people need to be able to see who you really are, and be able to posting your why frequently shows these new people so that they realize who you are. And also, because I feel like it might be a question someone might ask, I'll just put it out there, is that some people do, when I send a friend request, will message me and say, hey, do I know you? And it's like, yeah, oh yeah, you just commented on my picture in the blah, blah, blah group. Just thought, whatever. Like, I don't like make a big deal out of it. And I just say, oh yeah, I saw you comment on my picture. And usually I don't. It's not usually that big of a deal. But usually anytime someone comments on a picture or a comment that I post, anytime they comment, I don't send a friend request to the people who like it, but anytime someone comments on a picture or a post of mine, I'll send them a friend request, if it's an option. So, cause sometimes people are so private that they don't even have the option to send them a friend request, but other than that, I'll send a friend request out. But I feel like that's basically, and then just basically getting them onto your Facebook, and that's like the big deal, is getting them on your Facebook. And just, if you're already posting like you should, and posting out your workouts and your Shakeology and your team and your support groups, and you're posting all those things, they're going to see it, and they're naturally going to wonder what's going on, and they're going to want to hopefully join you. So, but I don't know, I think that's kind of all I have for right now, unless anyone else wants to ask a question so I can build on that.
Do you continue to interact with those people once you get them over to your Facebook page out of the group?
I don't make like a list of people. I'm really bad about organization, so I don't really make a. Sorry, someone was trying to FaceTime me. Let me message you real quick. I know I'm on recorded. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No, I think that's my big thing, is that I work really hard to build relationships in these groups, and then I get them over to my Facebook, and then I almost like forget about them.
I think if I could be better organized, what I would is make sure to go on their Facebook, at least like keep it so that they're so I'm in their newsfeed and they're in my newsfeed, so I keep at least liking their posts so their stuff keeps showing up and I'm showing up in their feed. And even like you could, if you see that they post, because once you're friends with them, you see the notifications pop up. If you have notifications for the group that you guys are in, then you get notifications for when they post in the group. So, I mean, then you can go in and just kind of interact on it.
Very true.
And then you can message them about what the topic is that they posted about. So, anyone else? If you want to unmute yourself and ask a question.
Do you have any questions for Angelica on this topic? No. No? River doesn't have any questions for you. She's over here eating highlighters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Angelica. I didn't realize you were still at your party. I feel awesome.
Sorry, you muted me. I know. No, it's okay. It started. They're inside. It's a Pampered Chef party, so everyone's kind of hanging out and eating these homemade nachos that they made.
Jealous.
So I can partake.
Gosh. Well, all right. You can hop off if you want. Get back to your party. I appreciate it. Kind of roll with it a little bit.
Okay,
Thanks so much, lady.
bye.
Bye. Thank you. You're crazy. So I think that's a really good idea. I even wrote it down to, you know, come up with hobbies that I have. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a mom. I'm a beach body coach. What are you doing? You know, what else do I do? You know what I mean? Because not only is that going to make me feel good knowing that I have something else, but it's also a really good way to figure out what to post about. You know, we always talk about balancing our posts 80-20, you know, and sometimes I think we forget that we do other things than being a coach. So I think this list is going to be good for groups and to figure out what we want to base our posts on throughout the week. Because planning those posts, Amberly does an amazing job with this. I see your posts all the time. But it's really helpful to figure out at least what you want to talk about. So you have all of your content out there on social media, because showing up there is super important. I know when I'm not posting enough throughout the day, I get some serious anxiety, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to post? Like today, my call to action, I meant to post it like an hour and a half earlier, but I forgot all about it, and I didn't have a picture, and I was like, oh my God, I got to go like take a pic really quick. Luckily, I had my post all typed up already. That's something I've also been doing. I know it's not really focused on Facebook groups, but I've been typing out my call to action posts. I think Jen did a call when she was talking about, she was getting trained by somebody, and they told her that they do 3 to 4 call to actions a week. Now, if you're not familiar with what a call to action is, that's going to be like giving somebody a task. So like if you saw my post before we hopped on this call, you know, I'm looking for 5 people to join my team. You know, if you're interested, comment, you know, message, email, like giving these people an action to take, because sometimes we get so caught up in what are you doing? In sharing our workouts and our Shakeology, you know, and saying that we love coaching, but we're not giving these people something to do about it, you know. Not everybody is going to reach out to you without you basically being like, come on, you know, talk to me. So that's super important to do as well. So I've been planning out my posts, you know, figuring out, you know, what groups do I have coming up. My challenge group starts Monday, so I'm kind of over talking about my challenge group right now. You know, I'm more focused on recruiting. So that's what I'm going to base my call to action posts on. You know, every other day. Sunday evenings are prime times. So if you have something important coming up, post on Sunday evenings. I find that the days I'm going to be posting my call to action, I want to do a lot of engaging stuff, a lot of funny stuff, you know, a lot of River. People like to see River. People like when I post funny memes. People like when I ask questions. So I make sure I load the day full of exciting things, because that gets more people to my page, that gets more people liking my stuff and interacting. I was talking to Jacqueline about this morning. Yeah, you're crazy. It gets more people seeing my stuff showing up. So then at night when everybody's laying in bed, most of my audience is still East Coast, so I'm a little crazy with my posting because I'm 2 hours behind you guys. But anyways, I figure out what time, you know, everyone's going to be laying in bed scrolling, because I know that's exactly what I do. I lay in bed and I scroll. So that's prime time to post those call to actions, because everybody's been seeing your stuff all day. And, you know, like, this girl's pretty awesome. You know, she's funny. She lives a cool life. And even if you think your life isn't cool, like Angelica said, if you're interacting with people that you have things in common with, your life's going to be cool to those people. You know what I mean? Some people might not think my mom life, going to the park, working all day, you know, like being a slob isn't cool. But somebody that's the same as me is going to think it's cool. And that's what I want. I want people that, you know, jive with me, because, you know, when I first started, I had coaches that, you know, we didn't have anything in common. And it was weird kind of to even, you know, try and work together. And they aren't here anymore. And it's because we didn't really get to know each other. We didn't have things in common. So that's super, super important. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? Did I jot it down? Does anybody have any questions while I unmute? Yep, go ahead and unmute yourself, Amberly.
So I know Angelica was saying she's not really good with lists, and I'm trying to like make myself get better with them, because if I don't, I'm like everywhere. Would you, with the interest lists, because sometimes we get so many people, like I've got 40 something people on my interest list now. Next month, would it be a good idea to start a new interest list for the September people that I add?
Yeah, actually, that would be a really cool idea. Are you organizing your list to like specific things like challengers or coaches, or are these just people you want to interact with?
These are right now it's mostly just people I want to interact with.
Yeah,
And
then
then
I like that.
as I get more interest, if people are interested in certain things, I'll add them to like challenger, coach, or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Really interested, but keep saying they can't afford it. Like 4 people I know would do this, but if they just get the money, they can do the thing.
Yeah. And this is another thing I was just talking to Sherry about, like we were talking about how we had so many people that were like this close to either joining a challenge group or becoming a coach. And I was like, what are they saying? Why don't they want to do it? What's the one thing holding them back? And obviously it was like price or, I don't think I have the time. And I was like, well, let's talk about that in our post. Let's talk about how you realize you don't need to have a crap load of time to do this. Take what's holding them back and word your post so that you're showing them that their fear is wrong, or you know what I mean, that you're basically erasing that, and then tag those people in the comments. That is huge. But I think it's really important to follow up with people, but I think the way you're doing it, if you're doing it by month, it's going to be cool to remove the people that eventually come with you, because as you go on, like 2-3 months down the road, if those people aren't interacting back with you or wanting to do anything, then they're probably just not ready yet. You know what I mean? I still have people come back a year later, like that girl I had buy a challenge pack yesterday or the day before. I talked to her a year ago. I kept in touch with her. I liked her stuff every now and then, but like I followed up with her eventually, and some people just really aren't ready, and there's nothing we can do about that. But wording your post to eliminate the fears of people, I think, is really, really cool to keep track of. So when you are keeping these lists, keep a mental note, of what people are saying to you as an excuse for not wanting to do this. I have people that say, I got a lot of people tell me they're pregnant and they don't want to do it. I'm like, girlfriend, do you know who you're talking to? But anyways, or somebody's like, oh, I work. And I'm like, girlfriend, you're not the only one on this team that works, and that's really cool. Maybe if that is an excuse for somebody, I work a full-time job and I have kids, shout out somebody on your team that works a full-time job and has kids. You know what I mean? Just eliminate everything, like attack their fears. And I think if you're interacting with them, it's going to show up, and one day they're just going to be like, I'm ready. Like, why am I letting this hold me back?
The absolute biggest excuse I get, and I will admit I was the same way when Brianna first came to me about it, but the biggest is I can't afford that. And even doing like the breakdown of how, it's actually cheaper than going to Starbucks every day, like I know some people do. Because I got this one girl. She goes to Starbucks every single day. She buys a $4 Frappuccino and a $3 sandwich and complains she's never got any energy. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm working with her. I'm hoping that maybe she'll understand soon. But that's the biggest thing is people, I can't afford it. I don't want to spend that kind of money. Is it really worth it? And I'm like, I've lost 30 pounds. I'm pretty sure it's worth it.
And it's really hard. And most of the time when people say that, for most cases, they really probably do have that $140 to spend, but they're just mentally not ready. Like there's another reason holding them back. I did not have $140 to buy a challenge pack to sign up, but I did it anyways. And it was because I was ready. When I first started, we didn't have $100 to buy Shakeology, but I've never canceled my HD because I knew it was important to my business. If you want something bad enough and you're ready, like you're going to make it happen no matter what. And that's why it's so important for us to show up every single day and, talk about why Shakeology is worth the money. If that's an excuse you're getting, maybe instead of breaking it down, talk about, how it's making you feel. Like what has changed from when you weren't drinking Shakeology to when you are now. Because I can tell you, I feel better. TMI, but I go to the bathroom better. Like, everything just feels more in sync in my body when I'm drinking Shakeology compared to when I'm not. And sometimes that's hard for people to relate to because they don't know that they don't feel good. You know what I mean? I didn't know that I wasn't feeling great until I started to become healthy. And that's really hard for people to envision for themselves. And it's hard for them to break the habit of going to Starbucks every single day. You know, like that's a sacrifice that they would have to make for a month, you know, like maybe even Challenger, you know, like don't go to Starbucks for a month, you know, save that $10 that you're spending at Starbucks, you know, and give this a shot if you really want to do it. You're the cutest. Yeah, we know. Does that make sense though, Amberly? Do you feel like?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Take all those people that say they can't afford it, and on our team website, I have a 10-day financial free group template, I think it is. Hold on, sorry guys. Okay. Maybe try running like a cool group to, you know, help people try and save money, like, and this can help them realize, you know, like, you know, I'm spending money that I don't need to be spending where I can be investing it in myself. I think it's really important when we're talking about this to always remember that we're investing in ourselves. Even as coaches, you know, you're paying $140 to sign up as a coach, but you're paying for a program and for Shakeology for yourself to get healthy. And that's why I think it's important that I've really been making the shift to focus on when you become a coach, it's to work on you so that you can help other people. I really want ourselves to be the main focus here because that's really what's important. And then we're not going to be able to help people get healthy if we don't get healthy ourselves. So I think talking about it as an investment in your own health is really, really important and good. A good way to put it.
Awesome.
Does anybody else have any questions? We have about 8 minutes left. How's everybody feeling? If nobody has questions, I'll stop recording. You have questions?
Oh, I'm again about the when you were talking about the interest list, Amberly, something that I do that has been super helpful because, you know, after so long you talk to like a million people and you're like, I don't even remember like who said what. I've been like really investing in Google Streak, and I have like different pipelines for everybody. So I have like my
Is that me? Am I?
That's fine. I don't know how to, I don't know what, but sorry. Okay, there we go. I add them to my Google Streak, and I have different. Yeah.
Oh, you can call, answer.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Your husband's deployed. You can.
Okay, he has like a good chunk. He's about to like move rooms because they're coming home. So I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place. I have them on like Google Streak pipeline. So I have like Facebook contacts, Instagram contacts, coaches, challenge group, like get all organized into like this really elaborate thing. But under my Facebook contacts, I have new to network. So I add every single person that I added to my Facebook like group that day, and I like I paste their Facebook link in there as well, and I write like what group I added them from, or like how I know them, or like why I added them, and then like once they accept, I'll go to like accept friend request, and then like message, and then like I have another thing to where it's like ongoing conversation, or invite to challenge group, invite to coaching, like whatever, like however the conversation goes. And then after I like get that conversation going and see where I need to like put them through, because I try to get them through the things as quickly as possible. I'll go onto Facebook and add them to like those interest lists, you know, so I have like challenge group interest, coach interest, coaches, and then my actual challengers, so I make sure I'm like interacting with the people who's already joined me. And that's been super helpful because I'm like, okay, I've talked to this person, I have them in this group, and then I just like click on like that challenge group interest and like interact with everyone real quick. And that's something that's helped me stay super organized with it. And if they end up saying like not right now, then I have like at the very bottom like my no's and not right now, and then I follow up with them like every now and then. But it like tells you how many days they've been in that pipeline and stuff like that, so you know like, okay, it's been like 7 days since they added me, like I need to message them or like interact with them or something like that. So if you guys haven't used Google Streak, it is like amazing. It's like a million times easier. Yeah. So
I don't use Gmail, so I need to like switch everything over to Streak, but
Yeah.
wonderful things.
Yeah, I mean, I have Streak. I just like, I was sitting there trying to use it, and for me, I guess because there's so much, and there's not really an easy way to break it down Barney style, for lack of a better term.
Mhm.
It was kind of hard for me to get a hold of, but I've made it like, if you see it here, it's right here. Invest time into Google Streak. I'm going to learn how to use the stupid thing. And technology's not going to beat me. No.
If you want, I've been like really like kicking off with that thing. If you want, I don't mind like doing a video over it of how like I have all my pipelines set up, and I have like tons of snippets I use, and like
That would be so helpful, sure.
literally spent like a whole week like making sure that thing was like good to go so I could use it effectively. Yeah, I definitely don't mind doing that at all, because I'm like a huge advocate for Google Stream.
Yeah,
It's super helpful if you did a video.
Yeah, I definitely will, because I'm like in love with it.
Share.
But tomorrow.
Yeah, it's late there. All right, guys, we got 4 minutes left. Any more questions, tips? Anybody want to? All right. My little cross-eyed kid. Oh gosh. No more questions, guys? All right. I'm gonna stop.